CHADMicDUP. Today is February 9th, Saturday, 2024, 9:42 in the AM, Arizona time. I'm just having that sharp sound like I'm whistling or something, but it's just my teeth being bad. Harris Heller in the background, Grooves, the album. I played through this before, but the next so many albums kind of sound like digital tech flow, and I'm not into that vibe, but I didn't want to keep clicking to find one that is more chill and like coffee shop in the rain. So let's just pretend this isn't happening. And I've done 3 other videos, and this little hairpiece was in there, and I don't want to fix it. Let's just pretend. I have an idea of my topics. I want to keep this video. I want to start over. So, water guy's gonna be impressed with this maneuver here. I'm gonna double up on that. I have my tea, but the double tea bag hasn't had enough time to situate itself yet. I have really bad acid going through my arms, and it's more so than acid. Acid was before. This new thing I've had since I was in the hospital. 3 weeks ago, I got out of the hospital. 5 weeks ago, I went in. I was in for 2 weeks. I wasn't sleeping again. Go figure, guy has trouble sleeping since he was a kid. I have trouble sleeping as an adult. But I have a new thing in my body, my upper body. It's a different kind of really intense, and it's really bad. It's scary. And obviously, go to doctor. And obviously, thank you. Have they cured cancer yet? No. Some things we don't know about. Some things we don't have answers for. It seems to be one of them so far. But yes, I'm continuing my medical search, obviously, thank you. I have a meeting with somebody here in about an hour to help me work on phone research. Kind that they are in that. I hope that goes well and it pays off. I have my subject matters, like I said, an idea of it. I'll take a minute for me to find them again. I didn't write them down yet. I don't know why I'm doing this. I haven't made videos now. I made a video, I think, and the next day or the day after as well. I tried to sit down for 5 minutes. I just was exhausted, so I went and left and lie down. And another time I just wasn't feeling it, I think. There's no hard rule. I wanted one a day, but there's no hard rule of punishment or anything like that. Also, I have the backlog of videos I need to still put up, so I should have put up one earlier before I started this video. Whoopsie-doopsie, there's no going back now. When I end this video, I'll begin the upload, and I'll fix the titles for one of the old ones. They're uploaded, all the videos are uploaded, but they're unlisted drafts. 3 or 4 of them are on now. I'll have to be careful with the episode numbers, because this episode number is like 10, 12, somewhere in there. Whereas those ones that are hidden are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'll have to jump this one ahead or something, I guess. I don't know, I'll work it out. I'll make sense of it. We'll work it out. We'll work it out together. Our episodes can go in order, whatever, how it's going to be. Going between, oh, there's a hole in the wall. Hi. I moved my chair so you can see the hole now. I didn't move my chair so you can see the hole now. I moved my chair, and in so doing, now you can see my hole. We're just going to move right through that one. I'm glad I cleared that up to expose a failing of the human English language to be concise, ever concise. Trying to be concise and specific about one thing, I opened myself up there. Let's not hit the double entendre note, because I think I just did that unintentionally as well. Anyway, I've been working on my material, my comedy material, or whatever you want to call it. I think I might have a whole hour's worth, actually, just from this last month or so, since I've been back. I've been using the phone, which actually works as a phone now, story time on that one. They're temporary. Brain stop. Go back a note. I've been working material, and I might have an hour's worth of material. I've been saving them to my voice. I use Easy Voice Recorder Pro because I do. It seems to work really well. It's got a really clean interface, and it does exactly just what you need it to. I'll figure out which way I need to move the camera. I moved the phone for the camera to pick it up. There we go. And it's very simple layout, very simple features. For everything I've used it for, I recommend it. It has a free version, which has a good number of things, and then for like a couple bucks, you unlock a bunch of stuff for it. I think that's how I have it, or it's for the Google Play program, and then I thought I paid a couple bucks to unlock the upload, something like that. But it unlocks. I don't think it's on a year timer. Whatever the case is, never minding the specific software I use. I have this scroll since November 30th is this one, January 27th is this one, since mid-Feb, and it's not even mid-March yet, and I have all those audio notes. Those are mainly comedy bits, or side notes. I mentioned a few videos back, I don't think it's live right now yet, milds, what did I call them? Something milds, not smooth milds. What did I call it? Let me take a look at what I called it. It was raining, or sounded like it was raining. I mentioned that I wish that it was raining. And, oh, I just called it mild. I didn't actually title them milds or anything. And I made like 3-4 recordings. Where's the one about Yoplait? I was eating a yogurt, and I made the comment concerning Yoplait's advertising campaigns about like, you can't have cheesecake because, you know, you're a woman, you can't have what you want for food. You have to have some garbage food that's assimilated, you know, that's a subversion, an idea of the food that you want, so that we can mock you, ridicule you, and remind you that you're just property kind of thing. But I like transitioned into it as a kind of commentary, and then transitioned that into the next piece, just while talking to myself. So I quickly grabbed, I don't know how quick I grabbed it, but I grabbed my phone to record it. And the way I presented it was kind of was kind of flowy or mild. Like, it's not about having a big laugh, it's about having kind of a smirk at something, like a soft smile about something that you're going to relate to it, or understand it, and you're going to agree with it, kind of like a small smile about it. I like that, I really like that. It was a late night vibe, and it was a late night raining vibe, and it was just really chill. So yeah, so I should be proud of myself. And the last time I mentioned that, be proud of myself, I don't know if that video is live yet, but I mentioned that I should be proud of myself because I'm taking those morning walks, not just to take a morning walk, or talk really fast about it, but I'm taking those morning walks and I'm working material. Even when I don't quite feel like the walk, or I don't feel like the material while I'm walking, I can be committed to the walk relatively easily, so far most days. But then it's really difficult opening up something. And I opened up like 5 audio notes about another topic. I just talked about what I was feeling, and so I talked about dating. And I talked about, let's see, if I look at 7 in the morning, and I woke up at 1:30 or so, and went back to bed after half an hour to an hour, something like that. I just did what I could in bed, walked around a little bit, and then I woke up and stayed up for about 2 hours, and then I stayed back in bed and woke up at about 5:30, somewhere in that range. At about 5:30 I got up, and that's my day. Like, if I get up about 5, that's my day, because 6 o'clock I'm willing to get up around the 6 o'clock hour, if I've gotten a good number of hours, you know, and I know my body, I'm not going to be able to fall back asleep again. I went back a moment ago, like I was going to record this video about an hour or so ago, and I was feeling tired, so I just kind of laid in bed for a bit. Sure enough, talked to my imaginary wife for a minute, you know, that I'm still fighting for, and I hope she's doing well right now. You know, imagine what that morning could have otherwise looked like. Let's give myself something. That's really hard to say. I got hit a few times by thinking about the pain that I'm in, pain my body's in. I thought about being homeless for those 20 odd months. I tell people I was homeless for 18, but really it was longer than that. It was longer than a year and a half. At least for me, I feel like, well, it must be justified. There must be some reason you were homeless. Yes, and the reason is that people think, like that commentary, that if I'm homeless to begin with, it must be justified, and they're teaching me a lesson so they can feel good about my being homeless. It's icky insane. And so on. But I was getting hit by a few things, and I realized I don't reason from failure. I don't look in the mirror and practice defeat and accepting defeat. I don't imagine failure and how I'll recover from it. I just get the fuck to my new tactic, I just get to my new tactic for whatever strategy I'm working for. I just move in position or pivot. Pivot, whoopah. Pivot, smug. Pivot, whoopah. I pivot into the next strategy, or I pivot into the next tactic for the old strategy. Strategy is to win what? The heart of a woman. How are you going to do that? Fix up myself, or moreover, fix up my life, including these things. Be married, have a home, have a job, have a career. More like that, really. My goal isn't to be married, it's one-up goals and branching goals, so it wouldn't be fair to me to suggest it that way. I think I'm desperate for a relationship, it's not true. I just am mindful of wanting one is all, and working within the confines of wanting one, working towards one, as opposed to wanting one and negating it and leaving myself without. A lot of people want the thing, they negate the thing, they leave themselves without, and there's their heart just sort of bleeding out and dying for no reason. I'm not going to live as a coward, nor am I going to demonstrate to anybody else that they should live as a coward, so I'm not going to, No, I'm not going to live with my head up my ass like a circle, handing out argumentative triangles or just repeating nonsense trash that the masses repeat. Sorry you feel that way. Sorry you think that way. Think. Feel. Oh, shut up. These people, when they say that garbage, is so gross. Sorry you feel that way. Are you? Then do something about it. Corrective your behavior. It's one of the most dismissive statements I've heard in my lifetime. I'm sorry you feel that way. Good job. You figured out how to be a play-yard bully despite your age. Good job. Play-yard bullies in the sandbox and a full-grown adult beside each other, throwing sand at each other. Sorry you feel that way. That's how I see this commentary. If you're not responsible for another person's emotions, which you're not necessarily, but you can contribute to them, why not live out of kindness, helpfulness, and thoughtfulness and be a warm person? Warm people are kind, helpful, and thoughtful, the three of those. And sometimes that means moving yourself, but saying garbage nonsense like that just I don't know why I'm looking. Sorry, this might be concerning my appointment later. Anyway, the topics to talk about are coming to me here. The difficulty that I'm at right now, what I've been doing, I'll double down on talking about what I've been doing. I'll talk more about it, what I've been doing. For like the larger 45 minutes, I'll talk a third about what I've been doing and the why of it, and then what I think I can be. So I'll just talk about personal stuff, like hyper-personal. Well, it's always what I talk about is personal stuff. But I'll talk about like doing what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing with my hoodie. At least I have an idea what I'm doing with my life. This is a tragedy. I'm going bald, but just right there. I might have a couple loose ends or tangents I didn't double back on. I mentioned the phone. I applied. I didn't realize that my brain was just, I could apply a temporary service to this backup phone. I knew that but didn't act on that. I knew that but didn't know that. In the end, I dropped $35 on a $35, their cheapest version of one of those prepaid cards. You go into a store and when you buy the card, it activates. There's no taking the card back because it activates. Otherwise, people would just take the whole stack of cards, walk out the door and return them somehow or something, get some scam out of them, so you sell them. And then they'd be able to go to a dentist like I need to. Because we're Americans and we don't have that by default. Because that would require, a world power that's the world power. It would require like 35 plus NATO allies. It would require knowing that there's like 75 plus 78 other countries that have healthcare. Oh wait, we have all of that. We don't have healthcare. We have contracts with contract providers. Whoopsie, was your doctor out of network? Whoopsie, did you need to go to a hospital that the ambulance wasn't going to drive you to, but it drove you there anyway? Oh man, now you have a whole lot of money. Are you on state-provided healthcare? Oh, sorry, the ambulance is going to drive you where you need to. Then why is it driving me anywhere? To make some money off of you. And the masses will tell you have a clinic and that's why you shouldn't be homeless, but it's a red flag that you are. Yes, it's a red flag of what you think, how you act, how you vote, and that I don't have first health care. No, that's on me. No, I'm the kid that sat next to you and your peers, you and your children, and corrected your errors in math. And it was fine my ability to handle word problems and math problems and science problems then. But when it applies to something that matters, the quality of my life, suddenly everything I say is wrong and untrue. Maybe because it's not an exam at the end of the hour that's going to require you to understand the material and you can just make up what you want and say opposite. Maybe that has more to do with it. Is it sounding vicious? That's where my brain is. The pain in my body spikes, and there's a reason why. I don't have healthcare. I'm doing everything I can. I had to call my clinic that doesn't function as a clinic because if it was a clinic, it could provide healthcare over 36 times last year in the first half of the year, and I never got a counselor out of it. I can say the same one word to my doctor, unchanged, 2 syllables, 7 times in a row, and that's all I have to say. I don't say hi, I don't say goodbye, I don't say anything else. I say unchanged, 7 times in a row, and the phone goes click within 8 minutes or 5 minutes. She has no idea what my injection is for an injection for health, for an injection for an antipsychotic. And she tells me I missed my injection when I first sit down to a teleconference. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. You missed the part where you're supposed to be a doctor. I hate this. People have intrinsic inherent worth. We, the people, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. That's what this country started. 35 plus other NATO allies figured that out, and now they're democratic states as well. Team Blue owns the world. 13 functional aircraft carriers, is that the last number? Or 12, but one was like out of operations? Oh man, only 12. We have the military power to enforce American will pretty much anywhere at will. We park a battleship or a cruiser outside of Venezuela, just for funsies. I don't know the reality of that Venezuelan statement, but when I hear political commentaries about socialism or socialist ideas, and I'm like, you know, you get to stay a democracy under socialist ideas, right? It's not socialism, huge thing, bad words. It means the people earn what they earn, and if our economy is strong, our lives improve. Democratic socialism or democratic state with socialist ideals, the roadways get better, the bridge doesn't collapse. When Procter & Gamble, Gillette, when Volkswagen, cars, when, shoot, I forget the third one that I like to pair with these, violate health regulations to a massive scale and we're coughing and dying, those companies should pay massive punitive fines and damages. Those responsible should be in jail, prison that is. Jail is for less than a year. Prison for the amount of time equivalent to the damage that they've done as seen on a large scale. That should be like a lifetime appointment prison. You do not knowingly let people die just because you can make good money off of it and then rationally justify it and pay non-punitive fines so that it just keeps happening again. When your bank is opening up additional bank accounts, shout out on politics, we should have healthcare. Your Apple phone is not made in Ireland from an Irish company. Paying 5% taxes, bullshit. I hate this. I shouldn't have 11 cracked and rotting teeth, 4 in 2020 December, now 11, the newest one being 2 days before Christmas, spending Christmas in the emergency room. Yes, I have a portion there of healthcare. It pays a portion of healthcare at the most extreme of it, yes. The part that I need isn't there on top of that. And if it was there in full, guess who wouldn't be on disability anymore? Guess who wouldn't need disability anymore after about 5 or 8 years of it instead of 20 years, and I'm still on it because of reasons that it's designed that way. Guess who wouldn't need to be on it anymore? The guy who sat next to you in class who did math faster than an instructor who could blink and have a new answer key set. I can blink new answer key sets in when it comes to math. And no idea how hard I work for that and what I use it for or could use it for. I don't get to have an idea of how hard I work for that, seeing it pay off, because I end up not sleeping and in so much pain and body pain and so on and so on and so on for years. I had my wrist being cut off. My hardest difficulty in math was writing it down. My new hardest difficulty was having a functional hand. And all I hear is the comments that I'm supposed to hear, as in, what a good segment of the masses want me to feel is their hate and vitriol and ugliness. I don't want anything harm to happen to people, but least of all do I want it to happen to me. CHADMicDUP for funsies and chill vibes. Harris Heller, Groove, the album. We're not listening to the digital, because it had the wrong vibe, so I provide the rest of the vibe. Charging at the masses, as it were. With my 135-pound frame. I'll get you. So I'm huffing winded as I arrive about 1 mile down the road. The glass cannon in my body ready to collapse into a heap on the ground. There goes Grandpa again. If you're an American, one of a third of a billion people, by default, by birth, you have inherent intrinsic rights afforded us the Constitution that was so damn good that 35 other territories thought we should try this too. America was the first. I would like to think that I benefit from that in ways unseen. and ways from beyond. And I do in many ways, but one of them is not healthcare, and it seems absurd. So, when I wake up after only an hour and a half of sleep, for the first day I slept in 2 or 3 days, and I think, you know, if I had a counselor that was effective, because I could search for them myself, particular to what they do, as opposed to just taking what I can get, and then end up having it canceled by the payment office in the 4th week, again. Or I'm paying a student. Why am I paying a student for counseling? Does that make sense? And how many counselors are in the room? 0. But the student's going to tell me there's 2. Them and the teacher. Neither are in the room right there. They're not a counselor, and the teacher's not in the room. How many counselors do I have in their words? 2. I have 0 counselors. Or the sliding scale where I get $20 off. Oh, only $80 a month. Cool. So in 2 months I can pay for 1 session. Nice. And the epidemic of men loneliness being funny to a certain segment of the population sub-segment they're in. Some of us listen. Some of us don't shout like an asshole. Some will only... What is this stupid reply? What is the moronic reply? Men something something. Not all men, right? I don't interject not all men. I shut the fuck up and listen. But I have women that openly talk about that to me, kind of, for a time anyway, while I was able to go out. They openly mention what they've been through. They feel comfortable enough with me to just, you know... I don't deny that it happened. I'm aware. It's awful. Men have the biology able to be able to forcefully, physically assault. I don't think it's a men thing. I think it's a human thing applying to XY chromosome expressions. Men, the biology of us, you know. I'm a skinny, tiny guy, but I can still probably overpower a good many women. And if given good health, good sleep, good nutrition, diet that is, and exercise, I would probably surpass fit women who have been exercising and lifting heavy weights for years. I'd probably surpass them over time relatively quickly by comparison, just by virtue of my muscle tissue system, what it's able to do. Men layer fat and muscle tissue differently than women. Our biology is different. Obviously. To certain degrees and regards, extreme some, minimally others. I can't produce. I don't have internals to produce and maintain of the womb or the mammary. Women do. My genitals are external. I could overpower a good many women by virtue of just simply birthright and nothing else. And so it's the case that some men use it that way, you know? And no woman can tell until a man has done that whether it's safe or not. In the end, it's just sort of like a question mark over every man's head. I think that's what they're saying, more or less, right? And then you get some dingus who wants to assert that he doesn't even know if he's a rapist or not. If she's not talking about you, my guy, she's not talking about you. Don't shout in her face. That doesn't help anything. As soon as these guys do that, I'm like, this dingus doesn't even know if he is a rapist. He's got to shout in her face. He's clueless to it if she's talking about him or not. Not all men, I'm not doing it right now. Yeah, jackass. Now she's got to put a big question mark over your head because you're probably going to be at that shit later. You can't just assert where she is in the moment. You can't like protect her from anything or be any kind of like value in her life. You're just in a giant walking question mark of a jackass. Grandpa's opinions unravel and unfold, peel away to ever more considerations and opinions. He's in a kind of vibe right now. He's probably just gonna let it roll. Yeah. What I wanted to talk about at minute 23. How did I transition that one? Oh, because every so often it's a good story. I mean, when you take half the world, half the English-speaking world, half of Americans, you get the TikTok where the lady, it's funny that men are lonely. And for a moment, I understand why it's funny. But I don't think half the population is causing their own problems. It's like topics in, quote, the black community. It's like racial disparity, economic disparities, and there's still many present institutional slavery or institutional racism anyway, where the backbone of these institutions and economies and local economies are based upon racist ideals and are maintained that way. Like, damn. The parallel there, I don't think I made the parallel clear. Or the tangent, I guess. How it parallels, how it touches each other, which is crisscross compared to 2 straight lines like an equal sign. Maybe it was kind of subtle, I don't think I identified it clearly. But what I'm trying to say is that there's going to be a pendulum that swings in the conversation, you know? You're going to have the people in the conversation who are angry and want to be angry, and now they get to grab the torches and burn down the villages. But the reason why the villages are burning is because those torches were lit in the previous village, which was previously their village, and so on. It's like a big circle, you know? But it's a next generation circle, so they get to grab that torch. It's fun. It's fun for them, so they do it. They feel justified and right in so doing. A few of them will turn away from it and let it go. good many of them will be ineffective at doing any significant amount of damage. But because they're there, the ones that do real damage, those ones will slip right through and be able to do real damage, you know? People that grab torches for a moment because it's fun, through that mass, the few that will burn the hell out of anything and everything in front of them will run right through. There's ideologies akin to horrific ideals that will not allow for the other to exist. I draw the line. I allow for everything up until an allowance, or a lot for those that do not, up until the point where people do not allot or allow. And the line has to be drawn, and I get to use my one miracle. I get to lay down my life. That I have a life, I get to lay it down. Men have one, women have two. The idea of anyway. It's just simplified, and I'm not saying that there aren't other identities or sexual identities or what have you. Or gender identities, I'm not saying that at all. There are. I felt myself lucky in that regard. My friend in high school kind of made me aware of this. I understood that there were like sexual identities beyond mine. But what it made me aware is that I count myself lucky because here's this one person and they're trying to end their life from time to time. They feel so sort of conflicted. I don't know how to describe it, conflicted. Obviously, if they're trying to take their conflict to an end result, that means they're not alive anymore. Conflicted quite isn't the word, but I'll go with conflicted for now. And me, I just know that I like girls. But I don't take it away from somebody else that they're entitled to sort of their own attractions, as long as it's consenting adults. I count myself lucky. So I had that kind of realization as a 14, 15-year-old. And only lucky because it's not like unlucky to not be a heterosexual. It's just the larger climate would make it difficult. But at the same time, I sort of have an envy but an affinity for the idea of like an interracial marriage, because you sort of have to know that your love is real and true with the thing, and you're not just doing it because it's easy. Because interracial marriage, you know, is going to be attacked more, kind of a thing, you know. A white person and a black person, I feel like, in love are having to deal with more bullshit. But they shouldn't have to be. And because they have to deal with more, they more know, like in the essence of it, the romance of it all. Obviously working out day to day is important, whatever, other way. But in like the authors, or an author, like a writer's idea of the genesis of a good story is that there's going to be a conflict that brings them closer together than most couples will ever know. And that closeness of vulnerability, that their lives are at stake as well. That's just kind of air of romance to it. It's exciting. No? Come on. For anybody that really wants to be loved and love somebody, it's exciting, right? There's a value there. They fight harder. I like that. They bring more of yourself. I like that. So, anyway. But it's one hell of a tangent. Things I don't get to talk about much. It's just a vlog. That's what this vlog is about. Things I don't get to talk about because I don't have where do I get to talk about these things. I want to bring this a stage behind me. This desk will be here. I can push it into a corner. Behind me like a big, I can't figure this one out. Behind me like a big oval area. And then there'll be like a TV desk or a TV stand that just comes up, yay, hi, that's it. I don't know. Maybe I'll figure out how to do the whole arm thing, grip, and I'll just float. I like the idea of having a desk because I can put some flowers there, and I can put like some books there and make it look nice. Floating TV doesn't have that by default. They still have to have some kind of desk tableware. So it doesn't really save that much space anyway. Plus it's probably just, why do I think it's cheaper? I don't know. I mean, obviously I can put a hole into a wall, so I can put some nails through it too. Whatever it would be. Some support structure, beam struts. Coming up on 30 minutes now. We've talked about anything from the Me Too movement to the not all men yagweeds that can't figure out that whether or not they're the bad guy in the scenario or not. Like, my guy, why do you need to shout that at that moment? Do you not know that you're a threat to her? Because that's why she says these kinds of things. Because she doesn't know either. So congratulations. In your double confusion, you are a threat. So thank you for proving her point. You jagweed moron. Like, how does this happen? Anyway, you're seeing the breakdown of my mind as I can't talk anymore. There's certain things you can't imagine when those blackout moments is taking advantage of somebody in a kind of extreme way. Anyway, what am I doing? I take long walks in the morning, and the idea is to just take the walk and shot content. Oh, I found a material work, and I recorded a few notes about me in relationships, how anything from the girl missing a limb isn't missing a limb. You have an extra limb. She's not missing anything. She was born as she is. She says 3 limbs. You have 4. You have an extra limb. You're redundant or something. She's more efficient. Or the blind girl needs you to be able to read, so you have to be like, not emphatic, intimate with poetry, intimate with word choice. Otherwise, it's one more juicy steak or tender chicken, or is it a tender steak and juicy chicken? You'll find out. Like the menus at restaurants are all just the same handful of useless at this point words, Oh, honey, do you want a juicy steak or tender chicken? Oh, she wants the juicy chicken, or she wants the juicy steak or tender chicken. Sorry, you guys, we're gonna go to a different restaurant. Like, the menu is absurd because it's just like 2 words, juicy and tender. That's what I'm getting at in that comment. Grandpa apologizes to his vegetarian viewers. He would try vegetarianism or veganism or what have you. He's just confused of how to cook most basic meals, least of all vegetables, or let alone vegetables, including vegetables. Grandpa's confused. I have an idea of how to cook. He just heats stuff up for long enough and then it's done, right? I'm trying. One of those conflicts in me, I'll talk about cooking for a minute then, is cooking. And you would think I would know, maybe you wouldn't, maybe you know me personally, get the idea, that I'm an intelligent enough person, but cooking for some reason, I think it's the intimacy and the domesticness of it that it means something. It's not just that it's cooking and I can't apply math to cooking. Like, no, it's not that I'm good at math, it's that I only had math. I'm good at sports when you give me the environment. The coach hits me, what is it, bump, hit, pass, bump, hit, bump, pass, bump, hit, yeah. Pass it, set it up, hit the ball. Pass it into position, set it up, hit the ball. Pass, bump, hit. I can hit back left corner, back left corner, back left corner, 3 in a row in volleyball. In the very brief and limited moment where the coach and I have a moment, I can do that. But I can't where all these people around me, or I can't over and over again. And no one's at collegiate volleyball level, but it's one hell of a not beginner novice. Or weight training, I put on 15 pounds over the first time I got to weight train. 10 weeks, I got up 15 pounds, I don't know. But the max was a pound a week on the average or something. Well, you tell me what it's going from 110 to 125, you tell me. Summer's only 10 weeks. You tell me how that happened. I mean, I was eating food on top of it, so maybe muscle growth is 1 a week, plus all the food I was eating kind of built up my body in other ways. Put on 5 pounds of a good healthy body or whatever. But I'm 5'11", 110 at the time. I was a 16-year-old turning 17 over December 2001. Like, if you give me a good environment, I can catch the ball, I can hit the ball. I can throw the ball. I can kick the ball. I can shoot the ball. But that environment requires, at this point, healthcare. And then it required that I be allowed to just go outside, and I did not have the parent that allowed me a social life at all. People take that for granted so much. I did this. And there's mom, dad, grandpa, grandma, the home, the money, the health, everything that they're born into, and the data set provided 12 months before they were conceived. That says exactly where they are right now. Wow. I'm like, yeah, you did play a part. But people take way more credit than they should. And they do not give credit to who or how they should. And the rest of us watch, and it's like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And the level and degree of pain that I'm in when I'm the sole party representative. My parent and parents' parents allowed that this happen. It's beyond the point that they're not doing anything. It's that they caused it. I raised them. They were immature. I was the adult. And the fool laughs and thinks it's hilarious. How did you earn money as a child? So on. Lao Tzu writes, I eat, I drink, I move my bowels. The foolish shall laugh, but the wise will understand. Lao Tzu translates roughly, little boy, I believe. And Alan Watts put that into English. And I bump his head every so often, and I see after Lao Tzu. However you might say his name. It's goofy that philosophy tends to look at Western philosophers. That's amazing. Oh, Aristotle, Plato, Socrates again, thanks. Maybe somebody else today. It's also not goofy. I mean, we're going to look at what we're most similar to in both language, religion, sadly skin color. That makes sense, that's how we are. Then facial features, not just skin color, it's all body feature traits. Like nose features, there's only so many different ways Caucasian produces nose features, whatever Caucasian genetic traits are. Eyes and some facial structures, you only get these kinds of body types so many different times. You know? Different face, more prominent cheekbone, narrow face, more typical, whatever. On the average, anyway. I get this from a few things, but mainly the three waves of immigration in the late 1800s to the early 1900s to the mid 1800s. That's the period of class that I took, or the period of history that I took for the history course credit I needed in college. Was the second early 1700s, founding of our country, just before in 1700s, up until like whatever, and the cutoff was where I began 820s to nowadays modern, the second half of history. So my class covered waves of immigration. I took note that the first immigration wave, Western Europe, second Eastern Europe, third Africa, and South Pacific Asia, and you're sort of treated based upon how similar we were, or people were. Americans to the next wave of immigrants, the next wave of Americans into America. It's goofy. That's how we are. I shouldn't believe I'm any less susceptible to it. I should just be aware that it's a thing. What have you. Topic 1 is what I'm doing, and I'm working material when I walk. There is a pool area across the street. There's a second apartment. My apartment is like an L shape. There's a group of apartments, group building, 10 buildings here, or the 10 buildings here, something like that anyway. Or 5 and 5, whatever. I think it's 10 and 10. Double check that. But then across the street, like literally just walk from my apartment, and 5 minutes later, I'm in another group of apartments by another group of apartments. And they have a pool, and I'm walking around the walkway of the pool, not inside the gate for the pool portion, but outside the gate, there's a walkway. And a peripatetic is a person walking around a water source. I'm not quite sure, but to walk around a water source, if you walking around a water source, it's a peripatetic. I'm guessing the walk, pathetic is about place you're walking a water source, I guess. Maybe. I don't know why I think para means walking. Ambulatory, to walk, paraplegic, why can't I see what para is? I don't know my derivative words and my preface words in Latin and Greek, I don't know. And when I study language, I can't get anything out of it. Post-participle is a, but like, I can use language, but I can't do the math of language. I don't know. My brain, I don't know. I mean, I've not been able to come to it easily. I figure though, if I'm given the environment, just like back left corner 3 times in a row. Pass, bump, hit. Walk, pass, bump, hit, pass, bump, hit. Back left corner, back left corner, back left corner. Almost exactly in the last little grid, last little corner. 1, 2, and 3. It doesn't surprise me that I can do that in those times. It's just frustrating that I can't consistently do that. Like, it's created an environment where it's mentor-pupil, or coach-student, coach-player, I guess. But I can't bring that out of me. I understand when I help people with maths, the reason why I'm able to do maths is more to do with, or my proficiencies academically, is more to do with home, alone, in my mind, and then whatever genetics or environment traits allowed for my mind to be able to do that, I don't know. There's the advancement that I have, and then using it all the time. Well, my using it is brother, sister, friend, and dog, and the dog's name is Max, making up a family and a home. My imagination. Because I didn't have one. No, I didn't. I was the emotional support for 2 women, a mother and a grandmother. I was their support. I didn't get to go out and play with friends. When did that happen? I can remember them a handful of times over the course of my life. Even so now, it's only a handful of times. If you don't act a certain way in that very moment, people don't recognize you as even being there. My job was to support the situation and environment, not to be seen or heard. So I don't think of things that will get me seen, heard, remembered, or invited. I think of like, okay, are we safe? What's needed? I'm like on watch. My body's alert. I have that alert thing. My body can't like relax or what have you. I need to check my phone again because that appointment's approaching and I see a notice from the app that we use to talk. I'm just sitting and talking. I don't like being abrasive. But I'm not pro certain ideologies, I'm pro certain other ideologies. Ideology being, you get to love who you love with consent for that party. You deserve platonic, inherent, intrinsic worth, value, and love. You deserve healthcare. If your country has a duty to healthcare at a deductive reason state. I'm just shouting it at you so I can't show it. It's not an essay. A percent chance. Can we define morality and good? Can we define healthcare? Can we use those 3 words? Can we define America? Then America, can we define duty? Great. America has a duty to provide healthcare for its citizens. If it can it? Yes, then it has a duty. Is it failing that moral duty? Yes it is. That's not inductive reasoning, it's not an essay. We're able to provide healthcare. We know we are. We have 38 war allies that will go to war within degrees and regards with us should a world cataclysmic event occur wherein we're jeopardized to that degree. Doesn't mean we just invade countries altogether at will. You can't raise your hand and say, well, those countries didn't invade Iraq, Afghanistan as with America. America wasn't threatened to being swiped off the brink of the face of the planet either, were we? Also, it takes a strong basis in news. That's long-form investigative journalism news, PBS Frontline being among them, perhaps Al Jazeera English, Australian, British, Canadian Broadcasting, NBC Nightly, CBS, Reuters, Associated Press, very low emotive news aid organizations that ping relatively well or show relatively well kind of consistency and high integrity, consistency and proper, fair, accurate news journalism and accounting. They have internal audits, and when they make a correction, when there's something to be corrected, they make that correction. I had 36, about 8 of them were like somewhat emotive and sort of on the outer ring, emotional and on the outer ring. But the other, I can't do basic math, sorry, the other 28 were incredibly high integrity and so on. I built that into a web search, news search, using what's now a adware malware language learning network that used their photos, used their videos to copyright those photos, to copyright those videos, and use them in ways that may have been buried in their terms of service and their end user license agreement, so be it, but in a way that we couldn't possibly interpret them to do so. And we were already on their platforms for other reasons, and so for them to add that in there is should have been a violation of our privacy and human rights. But I mean, we should at least have healthcare for doing that. We should at least have healthcare if Google, Alphabet, YouTube is at the level that it is. We should at least have healthcare and the company should at least be paying for it in its fair portion. I don't mean we should dismantle the company, I don't mean that we shouldn't have the kind of tools that they built, but we have a right to our privacy and that shouldn't be evaded. And I understand that those tools can be used to just stop domestic issues like domestic internal wars and trying to avoid certain words and try to keep mindful of it or whatever. It's kind of goofy. It's just goofy that we have massive super companies that have their own acronyms, FAANG, what is that, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google, and everybody wants to work for those companies that did for a while because they thought it would have been good to do so. But like, we don't have basic healthcare. Sorry, say again. And please don't tell me that we have this and that if this and that is true, because that's not healthcare. There's no if-then sequence. It should be if human, then healthcare. Not if human and this, waiting for that approval from over here, going over to here. No. And we have enough data sets from other countries that have tried it now that we should have a model that's even better and realistic for it. You would think. It's too much of a conversation. You can't say one word without having to say 12 words, and somewhere in there someone has a problem with one of those 12 words, or the order just wrong. I'm saying that we have worth, value as humans in our country to be better than anybody, providing and demonstrating that through all things healthcare. We should have been the first. Not late by 35 others. We should have been the first. We did democracy, we should have done healthcare. I don't get it. I'm not just a person who observes it, I'm a person going through it right now. My teeth are so gone. I'm doing what I can. I hate it. Because if I'm going through this much, how much more are other people going through? The average American has 8,000 plus in their teeth by the time they exit high school. It really costs that much. What are we subsidizing there? My family didn't have that. My mom didn't have 8 grand. Some guy drilled a tooth on the provision that I come back later, but he knew we couldn't afford that, and he still drilled the thing. He still took from what healthcare he had to pay for it. And so that crown never happened. That cap fell away, and that was the first broken tooth that I had, one of the first ones. That cavity's decayed. It's completely gone to the nub now. It's so gross what that dentist did. He knew we couldn't afford a crown. Is the money magic? Does he think we're fucking lying? That guy, a third time. Dentists and doctors like that, straight to hell. Good thing I'm not God. He drilled a hole in my mouth because he knew he could get some money now. On the provision, we'll have hundreds of dollars for a crown within days. Well, guess who never had that money? Do you know how gross it is trying to eat food? Or can be? Also cooking. But then someone just look at me and mock me for not being able to cook or something. I hear it all play back and it goes in a loop sometimes and I can't delete it. My dad reasoned from defeat and he got what he wanted. That's not my back. That's why I fear spousal theory. Goal. But I still reason it for the benefit of another. I don't think of things I want directly. I think of things like high school philosophy teacher to help kids. Wifey so I can support her. I don't know the part where I do a thing. I mean, I play a game where I'm a tanker. But I think of like supporting the other 2 people and getting them a good game. And if we're not getting a good action-packed game where I'm making good sound tactical decisions and I don't play my cool and do it in role play, or I sound like a World War II tanker, then I'm giving them a bad game. I don't know the part where I enjoy something for its own sake. I really don't. And I just hear somebody tell me about the free money and the free house I have or the free apartment I have and how easy that must be. He gets in my way. He doesn't like me, he wants me to die. But CHADMicDUP, I'm going to continue. Harris Heller. There's a groove in the background because of the next, eventually, so many more albums later, like 10 albums later. This guy's like 1 million albums. 10 albums later, it kind of transitioned to a lot of digital flow stuff because like a digital techie point to it. This album and Rain are next to each other. I'm just going to alternate them for a minute so I find, I'll go through 3 more, so 3 at a time, a few at a time, 2 or 3 at a time until I find that kind of a vibe again. I wasn't looking for a digital vibe. Digital Techtron type vibe, I don't know what to call it. I'm terrible when it comes to defining music or describing music. I just use other music to describe music if I can remember music at all at that moment. So I'm tying it together, what I'm actually doing. What is Godot Engine? Why does my Twitter bio, which I post these to, or I post a short to the Twitter bio anyway. Why does my Twitter bio read the following? A personal live blog on performance art, so acting, performance art, creative work, game dev, Godot Engine, Godot Engine, world and character building, voice work, gratitude, FOSS, free open source software, and then the tilde, former quiet math kid. So performance art. One of these videos that I just posted, but that is old as heck, has me get up and go around the ball, go vroom. That's the sound of a gun opening up on a Vulcan M20mm. Vroom. Flying gun, A10 Warthog, A10 Thunderbolt opening up on a target, liquidizing a tank or at least a rock. The door gun, the left door gun of a Spectre AC-130, whatever they call them, the gunships that orbit a target. Whatever the sound, not quite that sound, whatever the sound that would be. I'm a civilian, but my knowledge of this stuff comes from video games and movies or the actual sound of it. Of these things when they function, when it comes back. every so often a video either leaks or it's a proper video from an actual public office video type thing. And I'm like walking around in a circle, about to like perform something, and eventually I perform something at 5-10 minutes in. That video is just me being on camera. And then I realized I want to transition that. I want to walk that into this video. I want to walk that into my vlog, so I did just like let it be public. I wanted to say this will be public. Here, this is me when I'm in this place alone, practicing. Just trying to jump into character, but with the camera running was like a trip. I have Chad the Mop. That is the mop. And it looks like I mopped myself into a corner. Mother mopper. Like, I came up with that in the homeless shelter. Just my body pain was searing and the room was gross and it smelled. I mean, we keep it clean as we can. All the cooking services and the utilities are clean. Doesn't mean it doesn't smell horrific. You would think, but it's clean. It should smell clean. Hot, gross kitchen smell. I don't tell you. Plus the same food dumped on us from industries like Chick-fil-A. And because they dump the food on us, we don't get health care. People in that office, people at that homeless shelter don't get basic health care provisions because companies like Chick-fil-A get them instead. The money goes to Chick-fil-A instead of us. So suddenly our health care just disappeared, so Chick-fil-A continued to function as a company. Thanks, Chick-fil-A. Super Christians. That's why they got to write it down to tell you, otherwise you couldn't tell. It might be kind to work there. I worked for them too. I mean, that's where my money went. I paid $6.50 a month to live in that housing condition, so Chick-fil-A could get a subsidy. Our food was Chick-fil-A, the kind that can't sell anymore. I wonder why. Pounds and pounds and pounds and pounds dumped on us. And maybe a 12-year-old thinks that's awesome, but a 12-year-old didn't hear what I just said. They just picture what they get when they go to the restaurant of their choice that tastes good to them when they're in the restaurant. I'm not in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. I'm in a 9-bedroom, square bedpan of a room on pans that are metal in 120 degrees sweltering heat outside with no AC or not working AC anyway. Men that are coming off the streets and paying $6.50 a month for the privilege to work for that company, Chick-fil-A, as well as a few others, as they dump their garbage food on us. And they, in so doing, aren't doing the good guy kind thing, eating the poor homeless. Aw, Chick-fil-A. No, they're not. Because we take those foods and those food items, we lose the ability to have certain elements of healthcare afforded us anymore while we're there at that facility. So I paid them for the privilege to lose my healthcare and eat their garbage old food that can't sell anymore to no end. It was gross. It's disgusting on an immoral level. Massive companies shouldn't get massive subsidies, scamming us out of billions of dollars and being fined millions when they finally go out of line. We built this country. We earned it. And those in office work for us, but they get it backwards. Because now they're in a position of power and wealth, or at least they always probably were. If they actually got into the office, they probably always were in a position of some amount of power or something, weren't they? So, why do I say performance art? Creative works. Creative works in performance arts and game development. A game design lead, project manager, ensures that there's not feature creep, but I'm managing my own project. So think of like a director, writer of a movie, but also the financier of the movie is the same guy. So he can get his own movie done. He doesn't have to put up with the production staff that tells him, no, you can't have this scene. When that scene's the pivotal scene that made the entire movie, it was the first scene of the movie, and it's what built the movie. And the director, writer's being told they can't even have this scene that makes the whole damn movie because the bean counters can't figure out what the movie means. The return on investment strategy doesn't allow for the scene because the scene costs too much in their mind. No, I make them for free. With people that are also making them for free on game jams. And a game jam is like a garage jam with friends over the weekend. Only they're going to perform the songs once they write the song for free as well. So imagine like a house party or something at the end of the weekend or on a Friday or a Saturday. And for the full week, the guys are just jamming out, writing a song for a house party that's going to happen on Saturday. It's like the chill band that's just going to play for music for you guys. That's us. And I happen to be the singer, songwriter, lead guitarist, lead vocalist. That's all. Which, that's a lot. But my sound and music and rhythm comes from the rest of the band. So the drummer's vibe goes into my song. The bassist vibe goes into our song. The saxophonist, the keyboardist, whoever we have. You know, sounds like a pretty badass band, right? That's a game jam. You can go to itch.io, which is like Steam, store.steampower.com. Or Epic Games, I guess, or EA Games, or Origin. Same company, Good Old Gamers or Green Man Gaming. It's a distribution platform. Maybe they publish their own games as well. Steam obviously does. Valve. You have Counter-Strike, Half-Life. I can't think of Valve Entity isn't a huge one. They bought Dota 2. Anyway, game dev. Godot Engine is a free open source software solution. People want free stuff. Yes, the right to healthcare, their intrinsic inherent worth. And they want to be able to build and contribute things like Carousel or this right now as Streambeats. You're absolutely right, ma'am. You're absolutely right. People want things for free. They just want things for free. Well, and they want things for free. It's and. We also want things for free. We want to be able to contribute. We want to be able to love who we want to love freely, fully, with impunity. So thank you for giving us that. Thank you for giving us that. Thank you for agreeing that people want things for free. Thank you for agreeing people want things for free, like love. Thank you for agreeing that. Thank you to be able to love who they want to love. Thank you for agreeing with that, ma'am. Appreciate your agreement with that. Appreciate you siding with us there. Glad to have you in our numbers. We can count you with us. Obviously, that comment isn't supposed to mean all of that, but that's what they open themselves up to. And they say people want things for free. You're right, we do. Our inherent intrinsic worth on display. When you respect people in your company, they love working for you. When you don't, they hate it and they hate their job. People don't want to work anymore. Yes, because we're not paying them. Companies aren't paying their workers. They want ridiculous things, like to count you as their family and treat you like crap. Some families do that. Anyway, world and character building. Yeah, the kind of world that I can see and come up with. I have the 1920s mobster one. That one's pretty expansive. I have the commander one where he's haunted by his decision set because he's the commander of a giant battalion of legions, the entire military force of a whole federated fleet. His decisions can cost the life of 10,000 people in a finger snap. You know, imagine the commander's weight on his mind as a battalion fleet when one starship has all those people on board, or he ends the lives of people across like a region, an entire continent of a planet with one decision. And if you miscalculate something, it costs the lives of 10,000 people in a second, split second. So think of like a military war commander, but like in space, right? And so what's haunting him is either like an anomaly element, an alien presence, or there's just his own mind. And I talk and I perform that. It's pretty cool. And more. I have a bunch of those kinds of things. Character building, the voice work for that. Hey, you boys seen that tank? Last but intel, all we hate is how good that Belgian chocolate tastes of that dead German Panther commander. You know, stuff like that. Voice work. Gratitude. I've been working on that too much. Don't know if you can tell. But there's like 5 things between breath cycle, breathe in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, cycle out for a minute. Gratitude journal wherein you maintain 3 things a day. It could literally be the same 3 things every single day, as long as you find a unique reason for each of those things. It could be you're able to wake up that morning, could be the breath in your lungs, and then to know that you're indoors, safe, and have food. Those are real for me. And then a new reason for each of those things every day is the key moment. Typing those out into a phone, into a Notion, into a digital journal, writing them down into a Moleskine or whatever you like to use. Both are viable. I've done both in the past. Having a bullet journal, if you're a guy, you don't color it in, and if you're a woman, you color in the whole freaking book. If you're a woman, it's gorgeous and beautiful, and if you're a guy, it looks like null dots and rangings for artillery systems. Looks like a multiple launch rocket diagnostic manual, your bullet journal. And if you're feeling more that woman vibe, it looks like anything in the world with color, including null dots and rangings. But if you're a guy, it's just like an artillery field manual or something. Former quiet math kid, because that's what I had to do. Not because that's the way I felt or what I wanted. That's what I had to do to survive. The kid who could blink in the key. What do you call all the questions in a math thing? There's the answer key. Okay, fine. But what do you call the problem set? I guess problem set. Anyway, we're coming up on minute number 58, so in closing, I talked about what I'm doing, the why of it. I'm building games with Godot, I'm doing performance artwork, and then I'm doing gaming, and they all lack into each other. Gaming, I bring improv. You can talk to 3 types of chat. You can talk to a radio, which is squad leads and the commander. Talk locally to the people in your squad. You talk locally, proximity chat. So there's 3 types of chats. You typically have 12 people in your ear, potentially at any moment, on a full map, because there's squads. It could be 6 to 8 infantry squads. There's a commander. There's maybe a couple tanks, a couple recon. And then there's the people in your crew as a commander of a tank. There's 2 others. Sometimes just 1, sometimes just me, but usually it's 2 others. Then I'm rolling by somewhere. I give local chat a joke, typically. Depending on what server I'm on, you know. There's servers where you just do clear comms, and there's servers where you can joke openly, so it's clear what that server vibe is. And that's part of the improv work. I also have a charity character. that I'm still working on for a popular shooter game. Still working on him quite a bit. Not actively. But in my mind I super duper like him. It's kind of sad because I've been here for the year, but to be proud and to be fair to myself, I should be proud because I've been here for the year under that housing provision and that voucher. And it's like, yes, and I was homeless for over 20 months, and before that lost the place that I was at twice in a row, one place, and then I lost the next place, not because of any issue on my end, but because the homeowner themselves lost the mortgage, or the mortgage owner, because of their own fentanyl usage. And I've only ever been able to rent a room at $500 a month. I've never been able to rent more than that because of my disability income. My disability income is my health care. My health care began when my father ended his life the year I turned 4. It's a health care issue. As Dr. Nadine Burke Harris, first Surgeon General of California, asserts. Well, good for her, I guess. Adverse childhood experience score. Stress is a health care issue. And it's going to get worse for those of us in high degrees of stress because it will bleed through into our bodies, and our bodies are necessary condition for us to work. And anybody that wants to argue otherwise is being so ridiculously foolish. We draw the line, and if they cross it, it's because they want us dead. They will happily take our lives. They will bind us to their laws and protect themselves by them. They will not protect us with their laws or be bound to them. Another great quote. Those who do not read cannot write. Those who do not write cannot think. And those who don't think have their thinking done for them. For CHADMicDUP, that was pretty heavy. That's some cool moments though, some nice moments. Or at that hour mark. I like this one track. This is Groove, Harris Heller, Stream Beats. The album. No, it was Groove. Whatever I did, I didn't do it right because it's looped into the next album. This album is Rain, which I like. It was a different vibe, I should have been able to tell. I like this track, I said. But I knew Rain was the next one. That's okay. Previously was Groove, this is Rain. Also Harris Heller, Stream Beats. Track song Breezy. Gonna vibe for a second. Thank you for being here if you were here. Honestly, I'm curious as to why. If you want to leave a name, perhaps you can provide a web search and do Emojeek, and M-O-J-E-E-K, and have at yourself a web search that provides you a web search. It's not a malware ad delivery network that's going to read and do everything that you're doing and claim it as their property and their property rights and evade privacy laws and get away with doing it and not even pay taxes share enough for you to have healthcare provisions. It's just one guy working on a web search. Cool. And you can do a web search, Emojeek it, M-O-J-E-K, at emojeek.com. You can read their newsletter. All kinds of cool stuff. Subscribe to it. It's completely free. And use your Boolean operators and your word choice. Your word in order of events should be the most rare word first and the most common word last. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get what you were looking for. 1, 2, 3. And you can type in something like a random word generator. Random word list, or something like that. You'll have some fun with it. You'll figure it out. You'll find websites that allow you to pick a fake name. Just a random generated group of words or names, and you can use that to keep yourself stealth on the internet there and come up with, random name that's, random. Maybe it uses atmospheric noise to randomize. Maybe it just uses, some kind of algorithmic whatever that we've had for a long time that produces a sense of random. I don't know. And you can find like entries and articles on what random even is by using Emojeek or a web search. Anyway, and then you can leave me a comment and tell me whether or not you understood what I just said, because I said it too fast or not. Downvote. Please interact with this media, a heart, not vote a like, lets me know that somebody was here. Otherwise, I remember that I was here. Wifey, if you're seeing this years later, I love you. Kids, you guys too. Okay. People I know, you know that I love you. Thank you. I'm going to demonstrate how to interact with a piece of media, sort of, kind of, by creating the media itself and stopping recording in a moment here. By left mouse clicking in this mouse. The demonstration, and therefore teaching methodology, so I can teach how to interact with media. If I'm going to suggest and ask that you do it, I got to demonstrate first how to do it. It's serving by leading, leading by serving, somewhere in there. Leading by serving, okay. For Harris Heller, no. For CHADMicDUP, thank you for being here.